You're listening to Healthy House Calls with Angel, and today I'm talking about something a little different: karma and the sacred pause. Enjoy the show. Hello, welcome to Healthy House Calls with Angel. I am your host, Angel Shannon, giving you tips, tools, and holistic strategies to live a healthier life by intentional design. Join me as we explore the landscape of lifestyle medicine, offering practical tips that help you eat, sleep, move, and live better, and help you become fit and functional for life. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the show. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome to Healthy House Calls with Angel. I'm Angel Shannon, your host, and I want to welcome you to a community that believes that good health is so much more than just a normal physical and the weight on a scale. Good health is also the sense of harmony, balance, peace, purpose, and fulfillment we feel in our lives. I know that I have been gone for a little while. I've been gone. And I am using this space of time on this episode to share with you something a little bit different. I want to go there, and I want to tell you about what I've been doing since my last podcast episode and what I have been creating for you, my listeners. I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for the feedback that you send me, the check-in emails. Hey, Angel, how are you doing? When's your next episode? I've just got so much to share with you. And I figured before going on with, more episodes on functional medicine and lifestyle medicine and, all of the good, healthy stuff that I talk about on this show, I thought it could be a good time to just sort of take a deep dive into what I've been doing, why I've been sort of on pause. And that's the name of this episode: Karma and the Sacred Pause. Let me just tell you that if you are brand new to my community, here's what I'd like you to know. We are a community that believes first and foremost that good health is truly the first wealth. It's truly the first wealth. And because of that, we declare our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being to be our single most important priority. We value knowledge, wisdom, and most importantly, personal transformation, because that's what I'm going to talk about today. Personal transformation, my personal transformation. We take our health into our own hands by being informed and empowered, by taking action and holding ourselves accountable. We prioritize rest, movement, mindfulness, optimal nutrition, spiritual growth, and meaningful work that aligns with our life's purpose. In a nutshell, we are a community that desires to be fit and functional, not just for a day, not just for an event, but fit and functional for life. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to jump right in. So I want to share with you a quote from a book I'm reading right now that I think will help put what I'm about to say into clear perspective and help you sort of apply this to your own life, and maybe for the same reasons that I had to apply it to my life. The book is titled Welcoming the Unwelcome: Wholehearted Living in a Broken-Hearted World by Pema Chödrön. Pema Chödrön happens to be one of my teachers, and I use that word "my" very loosely because she's a teacher for many. She's been a teacher for me, a wisdom teacher for me for many years of my adult life. I think I own all of her books. I've read each of them at least twice. It just so happens that I was on a day-long retreat recently at a local retreat center here in Maryland, and I came across this most recent book of hers, Welcoming the Unwelcome. Realized that I did not have this in my collection, and I went on and purchased it, and I am so grateful that I did, because I now can share with you one of her teachings that resonates for me and how it led to me being able to share this with you on this episode. In any case, Welcoming the Unwelcome was published in 2019 by the Pema Chödrön Foundation. I'm going to read an excerpt for you from two of the chapters. The first chapter, in which she writes about the bodhicitta. In Sanskrit, bodhi means awake, and citta means heart or mind. Our aim is to fully awaken our heart and mind, not just for our own greater well-being, but also to bring benefit, solace, and wisdom to other living beings. What motivation could top that? Bodhicitta, the awakened heart, begins with the wish to be free from whatever gets in the way of our helping others. We long to be free from the confused thoughts and habitual patterns that cover up our basic goodness, so that we can be less reactive, less fearful, and less stuck in our old ways. We understand that to whatever degree we can get beyond our neuroses and habits, we can be more available for those teenagers, for our family members, for our larger community, or for the strangers we meet. We may still be going through strong feelings and reactions on the inside, but if we know how to work with these emotions without falling into our usual ruts, then we can be right there for others. Bodhicitta begins with this aspiration, but it doesn't just stop there. Bodhicitta is also a commitment. We commit to doing all that it takes to free ourselves completely from all our varieties of confusion and unconscious habit and suffering, because these things prevent us from being fully there for others. She goes on to write in chapter 2, which is titled, Does It Matter? She begins with the statement, when we start to ask ourselves, does it matter? We realize how many aspects there are to every situation. We begin to appreciate how interconnected we are to the rest of the world, and how even our thought patterns can lead to a whole series of consequences. In the language of Buddhism, we use the word karma. This is a way of talking about the workings of cause and effect, action and reaction, or as some people like to put it, what goes around comes around. It's said that if we want to learn about our past, we should look at our present circumstances, for they are the result of our past actions. If we want to learn about our future, we should look at what we're doing now. For me, the latter is the more helpful aspect of karma to think about. There's nothing we can do to change the past and the present, but the future is unwritten. What we do right now will help create that future, which is not just our own future, but a future we share with many others. Every word we speak and every action we perform affects our future. But where do words and actions come from? They all start from our mind. Many of my teachers talk about the necessity of maintaining payu. This Tibetan word can be translated as discernment, heedfulness, awareness, or attentiveness. When we understand that there are repercussions to everything we do, say, and even think, we feel inspired to maintain our payu as much as possible. And so today I want to take a little bit of time to talk about this notion of karma, and more specifically, the version that Pema writes about so frequently in her writings and in her teachings, which I tend to agree with, that that latter way of looking at karma might be more helpful and more healthy. And that is the karma that relates to the writing of our future and being attentive to what we are doing today, our payu, our practices that help us to develop payu, discernment, awareness, attentiveness, and what practices we have in our lives that support that. We're living in a world now where there's just so many things going on. There are so many things grabbing for our attention. There are so many things that threaten our intention. And there's just a lot of noise. To be quite honest with you, there's a lot of noise. And I found for myself that many years ago that it was very helpful to have sacred pauses in my life, built into my schedule, built into my life, that allow me to take a step back and be sure that I am writing the narrative that I want to write for the future that does not belong to me, the future that will be inherited by the people who are directly and indirectly connected to me, be that family, be that children, be that my community, be that the world at large. I find that having sacred pauses written into my day-to-day life, my day-to-day schedule, helps me to do something that has become sort of a main focus in my work and in my life, and that is to design the life I deserve. And when I think about designing the life I deserve, that life is intricately woven into the lives of so many other people who depend on me to make right decisions, to be thoughtful, to be kind, to be considerate, to be of support. So designing the life I deserve is not just about me, but it's about all of the people for whom my life is intricately woven with. And I was thinking about my work, and I had gotten to a point in my work where I felt like some of my work was not aligned with the direction that I wanted to go. It was doing more of the kind of work that I find to be very energy depleting and not restorative. And so I decided it was time to take a pause, take a step back, and take a look at the big picture, the forest and the trees, and look at my work, look at my life, look at all of these things woven together, and ask the question of each of those parts. Does it matter? What within my body of work really matters to me? What is the future that I'm writing through my work? What inheritance am I leaving for those who will be here long after I am gone? What is the message of my work? And one of the things I really felt led to do is to really lean heavily into the message of life design, of intentional life design, designing the life you deserve. Why am I qualified to talk about that? And why is that so important to me? Does it matter? And I believe it does. And I'll tell you why. Because I believe that the last 3 years of our collective reality has been a significant wake-up call for many of us. Many of us have realized we are doing work that does not matter. We are spinning our wheels, thinking about and talking about and arguing about and just plain old commiserating about things that don't matter. We are politically more, let's just say, polarized than I think I've ever experienced in my lifetime. And the irony of it is that we are polarized over things that don't matter, that really won't matter in the years to come. Now, I'm not going to give my opinion about what those things are, because each of us has to decide what matters for us. But I will say this: some of the things, and many of the things that are occupying our minds day in and day out, that are the subject matter of the larger discourse day in and day out, are things that really just don't matter, that will not make the planet a better place to live on, that will not save the planet. They're things that really just don't matter. And I believe that the degree to which each of us begins to design our lives with more intention and more of an understanding of karma and payu is the degree to which that sort of mindset or frame of mind will become more of the norm. This idea of payu, of discernment, heedfulness, awareness, or attentiveness only comes through the act of sacred pauses. Time, oasis of time and space to think about what really matters. I took a look and I took a time, I took a step back to take some time to really think about my own work and my own life and the things that were occupying my mind that did not matter. Some of the aspects of my work that I thought were important that really did not matter, were more just, ideas or busy work or, just things that just weren't important, let me put it that way, and did not align with my greater purpose in this life and lifetime. Having sacred pauses will allow you to do the same thing, to take a step back, to do an assessment, to think about the future that you are writing for yourself and for others and for the good of the planet and all creation. To think about how you want to design your day, how you want to design your work, whether you want to be living to work or working to live. All of these things matter. Having sacred pauses in your life, even if just for a day, as I did with this local retreat time, will give you a sense of clarity and purpose and understanding that I think is the medicine we need today more than ever before. It will turn down the chatter. It will turn down the noise. It will give you a sense of understanding about where you are in your life, in your journey, and in the work that you are called to do in this world. It is payment for the space that you occupy on this planet. I deeply believe that. I deeply believe that. How do we create more sacred pause in our lives? Intentional sacred pause. How do we do that? Well, that is what I will be exploring on this podcast. And it's what I took a step back away from this podcast to design more of, to put together more of. That thinking about how to put those teachings together and how to present that in a way that makes sense required some serious time and thought and commitment, which held up some of the episodes on this podcast. But it was time worth spending, because guess what? It also led to a complete rebranding of Siva Health and the birth of the Siva Institute, the birth of my new home, angelvshannon.com, the rebranding of the Fit and Functional for Life community, which is now the Siva Circle. And I'll tell you more in another episode about the power of the circle itself as a dynamic. So while we are still a community that works to be fit and functional, not just for a day, not just for an event, but fit and functional for life, we are now the Siva Circle. So all of these new things, the rebranding, the writing of this new course that I'm prepared to offer in spring 2023, which is called Retreat, a 5-week journey of radical self-compassion to renew, refresh, and reinvent your life, is bringing together wisdom teachings on how to renew, refresh, and reinvent your life every single day through specific focus on 5 key areas of your life. I am so excited about this course. I am so excited about bringing these wisdom teachings under one roof. And I am so excited about sharing my process of retreat, because this is not about flying away to some faraway destination, although I'm going to share that with you too soon. But I first want to show you how to get the art of retreat and the sacred pause woven into your life on an everyday basis, on an every week basis, on an every month basis. I want to share with you, because I've been on many retreats. I've been on silent retreats. And I will tell you that one of the things that has dramatically changed my life, let me put it this way, is retreat. The act of retreat, the art of retreat, the science of retreat is something I think every single person needs to know. The art of the sacred pause, intentional pausing in your life, is something I think every single person needs to gain mastery in. Because as I said in the beginning, we are living in a world where there is just so much noise. There is such a lack of discernment and self-awareness. And I'm going to say it. I'm just going to flat out say it. There is a dire lack of discernment and awareness and self-awareness and attentiveness to the degree that we have to understand how that relates to the repercussions that we create. We have to understand that there are repercussions to everything we do, everything we say, everything we think. We have to understand that we are writing our future now, every day, and that what we do right now is what will determine and create that future, yours and mine. We have to understand the role of right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. We have to understand that and understand how intricately woven that is into the future that we are working so hard to create. If you are working 40, 45, 50 hours a week, you're not just working for a paycheck. You are creating a future. You're working for a business that is selling a product or a service that is creating a future possibility. Okay? And so understanding your role and your connectedness to that is work worth doing. And so I took that step back to start working on pulling these wisdom teachings together in such a way that I could teach it over the course of 5 weeks. And it doesn't just include, the mindfulness and the self-compassion practice that I always talk about, although that is a big part of it. There are other teachings intricately woven into this course as well, and into the 5 weeks that we'll be spending together. And I just want to quickly share with you what those modules are. And if you're someone for whom this idea of retreat resonates, I want to share that with you so that you can know sort of where this is going, and you can be on the lookout for that when the registration opens. And so let me share with you really quickly each of the teachings that we will explore together over the course of 5 weeks. In week 1, renew your mindset. I'll be teaching on how to short circuit limiting beliefs, how to overcome that negative self-talk and start creating the life you really want. In week 2, we'll focus on reigniting your spark. And I'll be teaching how to manage your energy, how to overcome inertia, how to turn down that noise and get clarity about what matters most in your life. In week 3, we'll be reviving ritual and learning and talking about how to make the ordinary sacred again. And in week 4, our focus is refresh your spirit, how to feel alive again with meditation, affirmations, and something I love so much, restorative yoga practice. So good, such good stuff. And in week 5, we'll be revitalizing your life. Herbs and nutrition to quiet the heart, calm the mind, and nourish the spirit. As I said, this is a 5-week course loaded, absolutely loaded with wisdom teachings that I am so excited to get ready for you. And in building this course and putting these teachings together and getting these materials all together, I mean, this is thousands and thousands of hours worth of my own personal life study, my own mind-body practices, my own, library that I have here at home and in my office, really pulling this together to make this so simple and so powerful at the same time, helping you bring the art, the science, and the magic, the personal transformative magic of retreat into your everyday life. And so I'm excited about that. And I just wanted to take this bit of time to explain to you why I had to take my sacred pause, take a step back to look at the bigger picture, to think about the thousands of people there are in the world just like me who are ready to design the life they deserve, a life of service, a life of impact, a life of joy, a life that allows you to be so much more fully present in the world in a way that matters, and in a way that Pema writes about that allows for wholehearted living in a broken-hearted world. That's what I'm up to, folks. And so I want to thank you for allowing me to just take some time out of the usual broadcasts to share that with you, to let you know what I've been working on, let you know what's coming. It will be released when it is ready to be released. It will be released when every single I is dotted, every single T is crossed, and when it is a true reflection of the love that I wish to put into the world, the caring and compassionate work that I bring to the world. It will be released on that date and in that moment. Now, I have that date written in my calendar, and we are on track for that release at the Siva Institute, which is where that will be released. But I will say this, that I'm guided from my heart. I'm guided by spirit. And so it will be released when what I feel and what I see on paper is in full alignment with that higher self, that higher guide. And I know that is in alignment. So I'm really super happy about our launch date. I will keep you posted about that. If you are a member of the SIVA Circle, you already know what's been in the workings. You will be the first to have the opportunity to register for that course because you are part of the SIVA Circle. I will be putting a limit on the registrations because this is an intimate course. This is a course where we are doing work together. There are live teachings in this course. And my intention is always to hold space for those who are ready, able, and willing to do the work. This is not an intellectual exercise that I'm offering. These are not teachings to just sort of read and highlight and skim through. This is participatory work. So there will be worksheets and templates and, really fun, interactive, cohort designed work that we will be doing together. And on the other side of this experience, at the 5th week, the 6th week, because there is a bonus, lots of bonuses in this course, you will look back if you are a participant and you will see another side of yourself that you did not see at the beginning. I can personally guarantee that. I absolutely 100% guarantee that. That's how confident I am in these teachings. So if you are not a member of the SIVA Circle / the Fit and Functional for Life community, I would highly recommend that you consider a membership in the community because that's where these teachings will be housed. The library will be there. You will have forever access to these teachings, these downloads as a member of the community. If you are not a member of the community, I have to say again, I would highly recommend that you consider a membership because you will be given prioritized registration. You will also be prioritized for the early bird registration, which is significantly discounted for those who are a member of the community. And if you're not already signed up for my mailing list, I would recommend you go to my new website, angelvshannon.com, where you can learn about all that I do at SIVA Health, my clinical practice, and the SIVA Institute. You can get on my mailing list. You will receive those notifications about course releases, updated podcast releases, interviews that I've done, different podcasts for other people, collaborations that I'm engaged in. Let me tell you, 2023 is going to be a good year. I've already decided that. It is going to be amazing. It is going to be amazing because I have decided that 2023 is going to be amazing. And I think that's enough. If I decide it, then it's going to be amazing. So I'm going to wrap up this episode by saying, if you do not read anything else in the coming days, I'd offer you the invitation to read Pema Chödrön's work, Welcoming the Unwelcome, Wholehearted Living in a Broken-Hearted World. It is good stuff. It's not for speed readers. These are teachings that do take some time to sink down into. Even if you just read 5 pages a day, it is worth slowing down long enough to really internalize the teachings. Okay? Pema Chödrön, Welcoming the Unwelcome, Wholehearted Living in a Broken-Hearted World. I'll leave the link in the show notes. If you're not a member of the SIVA Circle, I'll leave the link for you to join that. The best thing about the SIVA Circle is that you get to come into the community absolutely free for the first 2 weeks. That's 14 days. I do think that if you drove a Jaguar or an Audi or, whatever fancy car you like, if you drove that for 2 weeks, you would know whether you like it or not. 2 weeks is a very long time. And so for 2 weeks, we are so confident that our community is designed for those who are ready to turn down the noise and really be in community that is focused on life design and on all of the things that I talk about in this on this podcast. We're so confident about that community design that we welcome you to come in for 2 weeks and see if it's the right place for you. No obligation. In 2 weeks, if, hey, this is not something you're interested in, if lifestyle medicine and living longer and living better with lifestyle medicine is not for you, if changing your life, not just your symptoms, is not for you, if designing the life you desire and deserve is not for you, then in 2 weeks, you'll know that. And there's no obligation and there are no questions whatsoever. You're free to go on and live the life that you desire and deserve. But we are so confident about the strength and the beauty and the magic that happens in this community. We invite you to come on and see what we're about. For 2 weeks, absolutely free, no obligation whatsoever. So check it out at www.angelvshannon.com. That's where you can find everything that I am doing. The work at Siva Health, the work at the Siva Institute, and all that's coming, all the magic, all the just exciting things that are coming in 2023. So I will leave it at that. I thank you so much for spending this time with me, joining me on this catch-up episode. Stay tuned for the next episode. I'm going to be talking about something that I've been getting a lot of questions about lately, and that is fasting over 40. There are a lot of you, my listeners, who are over 40, who are really curious about intermittent fasting, particularly you ladies. So I'm going to be talking to you about fasting over 40. Is it a good idea? And why it may or may not be. So I'll leave it at that. You tune in, and in the meantime, be well and be good to yourself, and never, ever, ever, ever be afraid to be amazing. Take good care. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to Healthy House Calls with Angel. I hope today's episode leaves you feeling inspired, motivated, and empowered to live your best life by applying the practical tools of holistic lifestyle medicine to eat, sleep, move, and live better. Please don't forget to subscribe wherever you receive this podcast. Check in for show notes and share this podcast with friends. If you'd like even more tips in your inbox, subscribe to my newsletter, Healthy House Calls with Angel, by using the link in the show description. Until next time, be well and be good to yourself.